What's good? Okay. Oh man, I've been on calls on calls on calls and calls and calls. I did legs today. I'm running. We're going. How you guys feeling? It's been an interesting day. Crypto is up and down. How y'all doing? Who's investing? Hey, let's go crazy for the sis. Let's go crazy for Krista. Happy birthday. If it's someone else's birthday in here as well, happy birthday to you too. I just may not know you. So let's see here. But yo, happy birthday. Grateful for all of you guys. And I'm excited for this call because there's a couple of key things we want to talk about today. And one of them is just how to stay in the game, the longevity, surviving, thriving, the process of that. And on top of that, we have a couple of things I want to talk about on just the mindset of like being in the game. And there's you guys are going to feel some FOMO right now as well. So there's a couple key things I want to talk about. But one of the things that I want you guys all to know is, as you go through this, and you guys is cool because I love that Junior did this. He started to, ask people like, how long have you guys been here for? And a lot of you have been here for years, 6 months, half a year, a month, 2 weeks, 4 months, 5 years, some of you 3 years on and off, right? Brand new. And so if you guys have been here for a little bit or for a long time, one thing I want you to understand is the following, and this will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy. One, if you don't do this consistently, the time doesn't count. So you could have learned about this. You maybe started to trade in 2019, 2017, 2021. But if you just disappeared for a couple months, couple weeks, couple years, that time does not count. Do not fool yourself. And I'm not here because I'm not here to bring anyone down. I actually want to raise your levels of expectations. I want to have you just have clarity on what's true and what's real. I'm not here to hype you guys up. I'm not here to give you guys any fluff. I'm just here to tell it to you straight because one, most people can't actually tell you out of experience. If there's one thing that I have that others don't is experience. There's people that out earn me, bless their souls. But what people just don't have is time in the game, is money in the game, is experiencing risk. It's also, I've walked millions of people through every single process. And so I want you guys to listen because anything I'm saying right now is not theory. It's not just because someone else said it. It's not just out of a book. It's because I've lived every basically so much of this already. And I've worked with so many people that have had 7, 8 figure results. I've worked with people that have a lot of money but just can't figure it out. I've worked with people that were homeless who figured this out, and then everywhere in between. So I want to talk to you guys from a place of experience and how to really just stay in the game and how to make it count. Because at the end of the day, if this is something you just have inconsistency with, it's not worth it to you. Again, like I said, I'm here to be like really, really honest with you guys. And so I want you guys to build that. I want you to think with a 5, 10, 20, 50 year mindset. Because when you think like this and you have goals set from this place, the chances of you getting it done is way higher. It's more likely for you to accomplish a 10-year goal at a good pace than it is for you to accomplish a 6 month goal that requires extreme levels of intensity that you may not even be able to maintain and just might not even be realistic. So, and just to give you an example, what do you guys think is more likely, right? Could you go and become a millionaire in 10 years following certain steps or become a millionaire? Like what's more likely to happen? Have a 10-year goal to be a millionaire or have a 12-month goal to be a millionaire? So here's what most people do. They go, oh, I want to get 6 figures. I want to make 7 figures in a year, maybe 2 years. And then what happens is one, they just don't even know what it takes. And then two, they don't get it done. So they just give up. They get burnt out or they don't see the results quick enough. So they move on to something else. And then they apply the same mindset to that other thing. And they go from trading then they go to e-commerce, and then they go to real estate, and then they go to sell, something else, and then they go to do something else, and then they come back, and then you're starting from scratch. Whereas if you just did the same thing for 10 years, you're so much further. And so when you do that, you also gain experience because there's so much that you don't know right now. There's so much that you've never even considered. And it's amazing to get to that point. So when you have and you gain this experience, you're gonna feel so much tranquility because you've now lost this way before. You've now made this mistake in the past, or you've been in this place where you're like, okay, you know what? I've felt these emotions before and I don't need to do what I've done. And that's why I always tell you guys, like, every trade, every investment you make, whether it's a winner or a loser, is an absolute gold mine. But you have to mine. So you have to dig into each trade. You have to dig into how your process was. You have to dig into what it is that you're doing, what it is that you didn't do, what it is that you were feeling, what was going on around you. Because all of those things make such a massive difference. So right now, to give you guys, I'm going to draw something out for you guys that I think is going to be super valuable if Junior wants to give me the opportunity here.
Got you, bro.
What a guy. What a guy. All right, so check us out. We're going to use this whiteboard here. Oh, this is different. All right, Zoom. Zoom is different now. Okay, cool. These guys are always evolving. So peep this. Okay, so when we look at the journey, most people think they're going to see results kind of like this. So most people think they're going to see something like this. This is what we think is going to happen. Now, again, we're going to turn this into a chart because that's what we like to do, right? We're always on these charts. Donovan, if you could just not draw, that'd be awesome. If anybody on here draws, what you shouldn't draw. If y'all draw that while I'm live right now, I swear to God, you will never hear from me ever again. Now, don't ruin it for everybody. I'm just saying. All right. Because I know y'all degenerates. Some of you are respectful. Some of you. Can't give everybody that kind of credit. But I swear, y'all go crazy on this. I'm gonna just end the meeting. So, all right, that blue line is what we think is supposed to happen, right? So blue line is what we think is supposed to happen. Okay. So we got that. This right here. Can I angle this? How? All right, no, I don't think so. So that's what we think is supposed to happen, right? This here, pretend it's angled along with it. Apparently, I can't do that. But now here's what actually happens. So here's what we think is going to happen. And it's actually more like this. Like, we start from, let's say you start from here. And what often happens is it goes more like this. The journey is actually closer to something like this. Things actually go a little bit better than you thought in the beginning. So you might actually start over here, but then things just don't work out how you wanted them to. And then it might even get worse. And then eventually it progressively gets better. And you finally cross this point. But here's what happens. Things start better than you thought. Then they go worse than you thought. And then you have to survive all of this until eventually you get to this moment. Now, this is a magical moment. A lot of you guys are waiting for this moment right over here, where when reality surpasses the expectations. So the green line is what actually happens. So green here. This is what actually happens. So focus on this. And I'm telling you this now so that you're ready. Now, this time when we cross through all of this is what we call the valley of despair. Right? All of this here, this is this disappointment. It's not going the way you wanted it to. And remember, we're trained, our minds are trained to think in terms of time and money. More time equals more money. That's not what this is. This is a skill-based, right? Skill-based income. Trading is not one skill. People think trading is one skill. It's not. Trading is having access to capital. Trading is your quality of entries. Trading is your quality of exits. Trading is the quality of how you manage your trades. Trading is your ability to manage your emotions, to manage your impulses. All of that is trading. Trading is your patience. So it's a combination, right? It's like a formula of skills. And so you might have some of those skills in the beginning, and it gets worse when you're really skilled. You're really skilled on some of those things, and you're down the path over here. So let's look at this, right? At the bottom, just so we're on the same page. The bottom is time, and here vertically is results. So here, you're in for longer and longer. You have skills in certain things, but you're way below where you thought. Way below where you thought you were going to be. And remember, you create expectations at a time where you know nothing. You don't know anything about this. And right now, and I've done this before and I've talked to you guys about this, but who right now, and I challenge everybody, question your expectations on what you thought before. Think about it. Have you reevaluated how you thought this was going to go since before you actually started doing something like this? Have you thought about it? It took me like I think 8 months to think, wait a minute. I am still believing. I'm believing in expectation based off of someone, myself, that had no understanding of trading, markets, anything. But I still think it's supposed to be on my timeline. Whereas when I made this timeline, I was ignorant. I was uneducated. I was inexperienced. So this is your moment to reevaluate those expectations. This is your chance to reevaluate the when these things are supposed to happen. This is also your chance to reevaluate what it takes to make this happen. This is your opportunity to reevaluate, am I making intelligent financial decision? This is your opportunity to reevaluate, am I keeping the right environment around me, the right company around me that propels me towards the life I want to live? Not even for you to be a great trader, but just, is the environment around you actually making you better? Or is it really just a crutch? Is it really just, to be honest, an excuse, an outlet, an escape? Now, these are questions that you may lie to yourself about, or it's just a tough pill to swallow. But if you do, there's a lot of good things that come on the outside of that. So here's what happens, guys. Here's what you thought was going to happen, and here's what does. Now, this right here, what I'm showing you right now is really how it goes. And you might have grown so much as a analyst and you have a lot more skills, but you might be missing one or two that are fundamental, like that are just non-negotiable. And it's okay. So you just need to be able to let go a little bit of when these things are going to play out for me. When am I going to make the money? When am I going to see the fruit of my labor? But all of a sudden you start to gain more and more experience, and eventually you're no longer so much focused on the timing of these things, and you're focused on how quality am I doing every aspect of this process. And that's just with the trading side. With the investing side, the timing of some of these things are completely out of your hands, and the market conditions just have to come. They just have to show up. Things need to be in the right place for everything to work out. Some of you were waiting 2, 3 years to just see what we're seeing right now in some of these markets. And so when we get to this moment right here, this right here is when everything gets so much better. Can I make this larger? Can. All right, perfect. So here, once we cross this, everything below here, this is when you're surviving. And that's okay. Like you're okay with that. Like this is totally fine. But once you break through to here, now you're in a thriving period. And I'll ask it and I'll bring it up here in the chat. Guys, some of you had your first 4-figure day, your first 5-figure day, week, month. Some of you just cleared 6 figures as a trader, as an investor. And one of the things that you'll notice is that some people think, oh, well, that person got in early. That person started when they were younger. They've been in here for 3 years. They have such a massive advantage, but not really. And yes and no. Now, why? Because that person had to survive the entire time. They had to stay in the game the entire time. They had to not quit doing this the entire time. They had to keep depositing when they didn't have anything else to do. They had to keep fighting the limiting beliefs, the doubts. They had to keep doing that. And I'm telling you this because this might happen for you. You might experience something really similar where you're thinking, man, do I really want to keep going through this? Do I really want to keep buying another account, to make another deposit? It's a good question to ask. But what I want you guys to think about is the following is, one, have you become someone else? Because what you don't want to do is the following. And this happens all the time, even in the community. Like it doesn't matter even how many resources you have access to, you have to be not just have access to resources, but you need to be one, resourceful, and you need to be coachable. Like that's why there's 2 things that you really need to be a good student. What is your willingness to learn? That's number 1, right? What is your willingness to learn, and what's your coachability index? So that's 2 things. And then the third thing to make a great student, a great apprentice, a great mentee is what is your ability to implement. So again, like I said before, what is your teachability index, your coachability index? What is your willingness to learn? And what is your willingness to implement? And when you do all those things, then things start to go really well. But here's what happens. If you're making mistakes, if you're blowing accounts, if you're blowing funded, live accounts, whatever, and you just go and deposit again, but you never really became anyone else, you didn't really evolve in any way, you didn't really fine tune why is it that you're doing what you're doing, then all you're doing is you're still the same person. You're just setting your money on fire. Like you need to change. But the beautiful thing is when you do that, it doesn't mean you might blow an account, you might, lose a funded, and you do some self-awareness, maybe you journal, you talk it out, you think about it, you meditate, you pray on it, whatever you want to do. And then you go at it again. You go, all right, cool. These are the things I need to correct. All right, I did it. I did what Mike told me. I thought about it. I journaled. I had a good convo. Man, I'm feeling ready. I'm stoked. I'm ready for this one. And you go to the next account. You get humbled again. But I did the journaling. I did the reflecting. I did all this bullshit that they told me I'm supposed to do. The mindset. I did the psychology. It didn't work. I still blew it. Well, guess what, guys? This is you gaining experience. Because now you learned a different hole in your trading system. You figured out, oh, I still haven't mastered this part of myself yet. So I got to go back to the drawing board. And this is what I think most traders suffer with, is that they're not willing to endure the true amount of change that you need to make it happen. We're not all starting at the same place. And again, this is a tough pill to swallow. Everybody here can start learning how to trade right now. Right now could be day zero for everybody, but no one's starting at the same point. Nobody. Everybody here has got completely, we're raised totally different environments. They learn about money in totally different ways. You have access to different resources. Your schedules are going to be completely different. Your levels of confidence are going to be completely different. Your belief in yourself is going to be completely different. Everyone is so different. Some of you right now, you will have to become someone so unbelievably unrecognizable to yourself in order for this to work. Some of you, you might just need to grow 5% compared to where you are right now, and you'll start making some money in this. And then now the question is that fair? My follow-up question is, does it matter? Because you're here to play your game, nobody else's. You're here to master yourself, nothing and nobody else. And at the end of the day, maybe it takes you 10 years, maybe it takes you 5, maybe it takes you 1, maybe you're like Jack and it takes you like 6 months. And even in then, it's not even that you are a master. It's just that you got to see some success. Because let me walk you through what we just experienced and what we're experiencing right now. So check this out, guys. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something better for y'all. I'm going to do 2 things for you guys. One, I'm going to give you guys a trade. Didn't expect to do that, but I'm in a sell right now. So sold this. Feel free to do that. Here's the chart. You could sell this if you want to. Euro AUD or don't. That's up to you. Here you go. But 2, this is what happens. I want to give you guys something, an interesting perspective. All right, so check this out. Everyone starts their trading journey in different times in the markets and in different times in their lives. So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to go back here. Let me close out some of these things here. All right, so check this out. When I started to actually buy some crypto with the little crumbs that I had, I ended up getting Bitcoin around like 1800, around here. Like it was like April, May of 2017. So cool. Now, even at that time, I couldn't afford a Bitcoin. It was just, I was getting parts of one. But here's the thing. Some people start their journey when their life is in an uptrend. Okay? So let's talk about that person. You might be starting this and your life is right now, everything's starting to go your way. You're starting to get into good habits. You just got a better paying opportunity. Your job, your business is going better. The markets are going in your favor. Awesome. So you start trading or investing during great market conditions and during great life conditions. So guys, what kind of experience are you gaining during that time? Right? You're getting experience of how to trade, how to live in positive, uplifting, bullish environments. Okay. Your entrepreneurship journey, your trading journey, your investing journey is happening during this time. Now, if all you know about the journey is this part, does this mean that you're ready for a different type of market condition? Does that mean that you're ready to respond to a different type of life condition? Does that mean that you're ready for when all of a sudden you get fired from your job? Does it mean that you have the experience for that? Does it, if you start learning and you start evolving during this time period in your life, does it mean that you have the experience for when something unexpected happens in your life. Your car is no longer functioning the way it should be, right? You get kicked out of your place. All of a sudden, the markets just keep going down and down and down. And you were just buying on leverage all the way up to these times, but you never learned how to trade in a bear market. You never realized that your leverage is not always going to work. You can't go 100x on a buy when you're trading up here all of the time, because sometimes this happens and now your account's gone. And everything that you did to take it from here to here is gone. All of this happy times, all of the flexing you did here, well, 1 week just fucked that up. Why? Because you're inexperienced, but you told yourself you were experienced. And so the key is you want to learn how to work through all of these. You want to have and be in conversations like these so that you even realize that this is a possibility. You guys just saw what happened with Bitcoin today. It went from 102,000 to 92. It dropped like 10,000 in like 10 minutes. The amount of liquidations, actually, we can check. I think it's called, what's it called? Glass coin, something like that. Coin Glass. I guess I'm dyslexic or something now. But Coin Glass here. I love this website. And it's definitely, there's something wrong with me for sure. I think I'll blame my dad for this one. But you can literally see how much was liquidated within just the last 4 hours. Look at this. 60 million. Across liquidations here, 100 million liquidations in exchanges. 100 million on longs and on shorts. 24 hours, billion. $1 billion were liquidated. 180,000 traders were liquidated at over $1 billion. Someone was liquidated 19 million on OKX. Why? Inexperience, greed, maybe. Also, we're up 10 pips on the Euro auto sell. So, okay. Here, if you only see this, then don't fool yourself. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to learn how to ride out the bull, the bear, the consolidation of not just the markets, but of your life. Because all of these are part of what we experience every time. And here's the thing. So here's what's really happening. When everything's happening, not even that it's happening easily, because success can happen easy. Success can even happen effortlessly. But easy success, effortless success only is real when it's coming from a place of skill or experience. When you're having easy, effortless success without any skill, without any experience, be very cautious that you're just living a fantasy in that time. If you become aware of this, then you're like, wait a minute. I just accidentally, by luck, got amazing results. If you can just take a step back and accept that, be humble enough to go, I think I just got lucky. Okay, guess what? You might actually keep it. You might actually keep some of that success because you're now getting paid for your humility, for your ability to let go of your pride, have the right conversations with the right people, and reapproach trading or investing when you are more experienced, or with at least with that money, and you can go through things differently. So it's also kind of like this, guys, and I'll give you a different example. This is what happens, this kind of bullish market. This also happens when you start going to the gym for the first time, and you just start learning about, oh, more protein, more gains. And so all of a sudden you start seeing your body transform in your first few months. You're like, dude, this is easy. But you just knew what you knew. You just weren't aware of everything else that comes. And so what happens is those that learn and experience these different phases of not just the markets, but of your personal life cycle, then you're going to start to realize that sometimes the results aren't showing your growth because there's so much internal growth that will happen without you actually seeing it. But you just have to be aware that it's happening. So if you might be learning the craft. Think about it like this, right? February 2018. You're starting to learn how to find sniper ranchers in the market, and you're at it for a couple of months. Now it's June 2018, still no results, but now you're getting much better at getting out of the market in time. Awesome. Then all of a sudden, you have the skills of entries, you have the skills of exits, you learn how to manage your trade, but then you lose all of your income. And so you're now actually at a worse place than where you started, but you have all of these skills. Is it fair? Depends on how you look at things. So in financially, things are not looking good, but you have a year's worth of experience. You don't have the results, but what happens? People only look at what they have instead of who they are. But you just keep on grinding it out. You keep on going. You realize, you know what? Okay, I'm going to just, now that I know that I wasn't financially savvy, I'm going to actually work on creating a budget for myself. I'm going to start saving, putting money aside. Perfect. And then you get better. And then now you're getting more money to the side. You're still working on your craft. You open up a small account. You start seeing a little bit more results. Things are starting to go well. Finally, things are working out. You go, see, like this is what I was waiting for. I knew I could do it. Things start to just go crazy for you. You're like, all right, I knew it. It was going to work out. So now you experienced what it's like when things are easy. You don't even know what's happening. Things are just working out. Then you learn how to experience the falls in the market in your life. You go through, I don't know, heartbreak. You go through getting laid off, whatever it is, things happen. You consider quitting. You keep working on. All right, now all of a sudden, this time things are coming up again, but this come up is different because now you have more skills. Right? Now you have more skills. Now you're growing through earnings. But what happens? Even when you're good at something, there's always something new that can come. And so you're getting better and things are just not going good or great. They're just kind of happening. You're starting to see more consolidation in your journey. So you're waiting, and you're like, all right, cool. I'm on the come up. There's no big deal. Whatever. I've already been here before. I've lived this. Not a problem. And then all of a sudden, something else unexpected happens in your life. Maybe COVID happens. Oh, man. Here we are again. I've been here before. But this time, when things go south, you already know, you already have the experience. You already know what to expect. The difference between average and the greatest performance is not that they're always great. It's that when they're missing, when they're not at their best, they know how to bounce back the quickest. LeBron, Steph Curry, Messi, Ronaldo, Tom Brady, whatever sport, whatever you guys like, think about the greats. They all will miss. They all will shoot. They will all have moments of losing, but they only allow those to be moments. They don't become losers. It's just a moment in which they lost. It was just a moment in which they missed. They still know they're skilled and they're great. They don't stay in that frequency. So you've been here before, the unexpected. Maybe you made a mistake, but now you know how to bounce back. So guess what? You bounce back way, way, way quicker. This time, it only takes you a couple months. And then what happens next? You go and hit all-time highs in your life. That's what starts to happen. Next time you consolidate, you go, I've already been here before. I've seen this before. This is nothing. Because now you're not so fixated on, I need to see results to prove that I'm successful. You already know you're successful. And then all of a sudden you have quantum leaps in your life. These moments where everything happens fast, it didn't happen overnight. It happened over the course of years. It just felt like it happened overnight. This took 1,000 days. You think it happened in a couple of weeks. No, it took 1,000 days. But this won't happen if you're not willing to experience all of this. You won't be ready for another version of a drop off, another hero's journey again, because it will continue to happen. I love the way that these markets move, because when you go and hit your first $1,000 in your account, you might lose it. And then you go hit 10,000 and you might lose a good amount of that. And then you go hit your first 25K and then you're going to lose some of that. And then you just keep going through the same motions, but you get better and better and better and better at going through that. But you have to be willing to go through that entire experience in order to see it play through. So you have to survive before you can thrive. If you're not willing to do that, then you never earned it in the first place. And so that's the biggest reason on why we're bringing forth so many people from different parts of the journey. We're bringing forth people that have been doing this for 10 plus years, people that are experts on the currency side, on the crypto side, on the indices side, on the investing side, the leveraging side, the option side. Like, everything is coming together so that you guys can see this is what every angle of experience looks like. People that are working with much more capital, people that started with absolutely nothing, people that came from the mud, and then also people that started off with the resources, but they needed to change what was in here. They needed to change what was in here. So this is why we're bringing forth this conference, and we're bringing people from all walks of life, all skilled, all experienced, but it's so that you guys can learn how to think this way. I know everybody wants results. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. But when you learn how to measure yourself based on the quality of your actions and not just based on what you're getting from the market, it's different. So you're not here to make money. You don't make money here. All the money's already there. You're here to just grab your portion. You're here to make earnings. You're here to receive earnings. When you look at it that way, everything comes a lot easier. And you're also not as entitled. Guys, you'll notice as the years go on, the people with the most experience, those are the ones that are the least prideful, have the least amount of ego, because they've gone through the motions. We can relate the most. Why would I judge you if I live the same thing? Just being real. I've made the same mistakes. I've either made them or I've witnessed them. I probably made them. So do your best to stay consistent. Do your best to show up. Guys, and I love this idea. I forgot who I heard it from. But someone in a worse position than you has done it better. I love that phrase. I love that concept. Someone that had less money, someone that had a worse education, someone that's in a worse environment, someone who doesn't have the people that you might have around you, someone like everything against them has done it at higher levels. And all that proves is that why couldn't you? So, guys, I'm formally inviting you to this conference we have on January 24th, 2025. Like, all the people there, they've endured it. They didn't just ride one nice bull run. They didn't just have a lightning bolt of success. They've gone through the motions. They've been in the ring for enough rounds. So it's your birthday. Perfect. Celebrate it with the best. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys so you guys have the right mindset. psychology, the right expectations on what this can be, and honestly, just how awesome the journey is. Like, I'm glad just walking through that with you guys, the timeline.